Umoja, after the first 2 years, I think it became an established brand and people were really looking forward to the event. I think the first 2 years, because the participation numbers were still small, but by the third year, and that's pretty much when I joined, I think that the organization was growing pretty fast.
Allentown was really, really interesting because, they have a lot of fields, but they're all spread out. We had learned the lesson from Orlando that we didn't want just grass, we wanted turf as well. We wanted the stadium seating, so we found a school, and we really loved the award ceremony being right next to it. So the school was perfect.
It was about time because Allentown, first of all, had not hosted any tournaments for a while, and we wanted to get, we wanted to showcase Allentown, and I know that we've been playing soccer. Most of our kids played soccer, and we wanted something that would encompass everybody.
Also, I think our whole community stood up. I remember calls with Sustain and trying to get other people to volunteer. Financially also, just from such a small community, all the donations and sponsorships that came out. So I think as a community, Allentown stepped up, and it was amazing.
That was also the first time we had the one-day academy. If you remember, we had hired coaches. They came, they trained the kids for the first day, and then we started the tournament.
We literally got there, and it was bigger than we expected. Like, there was a lot still to be done. And I remember, I think it was in Hussein Khalfan's basement.
Yes.
We had a ton of soccer balls for the kids, for the academy. And we just were pumping up how many soccer balls, in 2 hours. There was 5 or 4 of us. That was kind of the first time it was whoa, this is big. There were a lot of people. There's a lot more responsibility. We were treating it like a 2013, 2012 tournament where it was just a group of friends coming. But I think you were saying, this was the first year where it kind of hit us whoa, okay, we gotta be a bit more organized and focused. So
I remember Hussein saying, so there's going to be women and you're in charge. And I was like, wait, I don't even know anything about soccer. I don't play soccer. I just had a baby. I was like, he's like, yeah, you'll be fine. It's going to be fine. And I didn't really understand, I think, how big it was going to be and how exciting it was going to be until, the games really started. And I was like, well, I didn't really reach out to any volunteers. So it's just going to be me and Mustafa on speed dial here, and we're going to get through it. I had Sophia's blanket on the turf. I was like, baby, you sit here. We're going to figure this out.
I feel like the Umoja Games are definitely unique in the sense that I think they were the first of its kind to offer women, Muslim women specifically, a means to play soccer.
Somebody go in front. Swag. There you go, honey. Come on, honey, come on. Test him, honey.
It was, I think, it was a big pour, and the grass field became unavailable. We took the whole schedule and turned it around and basically minimized the schedule to 18-minute games or something. We did something crazy to accommodate that weekend. We had to redo the schedule.
It's been great. I mean, like I said, met a lot of people that I didn't know we're going to be here. So it was great, and there's a lot of talent in our community. So it's really nice to see that.
We are not used to seeing crowds at soccer tournament, right? I mean, we grew up, I play much every time there's a soccer tournament, I'm there. We never saw the crowd level as it does when you go to a volleyball tournament, at least in North America, right? And that day we did not expect all those parents to show up. Extended family, grandparents are out there. The bleachers, that's a stadium seating, Mustafa, and it was packed, right? And I've never seen that at a soccer game before that day.
So I was, I don't know if you remember, but I was up in that booth making the announcements. So I actually had a good view of the field and all the bleachers and everything from up there. And one thing I kind of took parallel watching the way, I think you had mentioned that this is the first time there was like a bleacher setup for these games. Is a lot of these boys, they have when they play in high school or middle school, they have that type of atmosphere. And there might have been a disconnect between playing in their club or playing for their school and playing for Umoja. And I think that atmosphere really brought Umoja to the level that they face when they're playing for their school team or their club team, and that crowd, having the crowd and the fans with them. So it was definitely a lot more energy for them, and I think it really it lifted Umoja to the levels that they're used to playing when playing for their club or schools.
I've gotten a lot of new friends from Umoja that I didn't think I'd ever be friends with. And I feel like it just brings everyone together because everyone's so busy. And this is like everyone loves soccer, so it just brings everyone together to, play and have fun and spend time together.
Allentown also brought in our first kind of base of a strong base of companies and sponsors and so forth, right, who started to support the Umoja games.
Since then, we've had about 90% of our donors have stayed. So that's what started. 2014 is when we started them to have, and they've always been around with us. And really the growth is credit to them.
There was definitely a lot of energy amongst the women. I think just being the first time they were able to compete. I think it was a lot of fun, and I think it was unexpected what a turnout would be for the women and how much fun they would have in the facility that was that we used.
One of the main things of tournaments like this is to bring community together, and we often believe in the same things, go to the same mosques, but for everyone to come together from different communities for that moment, I think was a way of unifying all of us on one front. And seeing something like that is definitely empowering. It shows that unified front, and it also gave the kids an opportunity to get in the front lines in front of a big crowd.
It creates unity within the community, right? And the best part about this tournament is the academy that I'm very interested in, and I'm very happy that they did it, because that's the future.
I didn't really have many expectations in that, because it was the first time I was attending. It was just nice for me to be able to take the kids to a soccer tournament. I think that was where the excitement for me came, is that I get to see them play.
Besides the games, there was Akbar Bai's barbecue, and so
yes,
that became a focal point where everybody just converged around that barbecue.
We literally sold out of everything, and it was one of the most amazing experience for me to see how just everybody was together.
The buzz was just there. Where's next? Where are we gonna go next? This is great. Let's keep going. And I remember that's what sticks out to me for that year.
The biggest challenge is the come to mind for Toronto was the fields. And even though I didn't personally deal with the permits, my brother did, I had anxiety for him.